Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Lydia Serrani. U.S. Senate passing that massive $1.7 trillion omnibus spending bill, averting a government shutdown. But that added pork in the bill has divided Senate Republicans in the process. Joining us now for more, CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski. I said it correct, right, Adam?
You bet. Yeah, it's not easy being Andrzejewski.
Well, look at my last name. There you go. So Merry Christmas to you. So, Adam, there's a lot of pork in this spending bill. So first of all, explain to people what pork means. Pork is basically lawmakers kind of getting, it's almost like a little quid pro quo. Some might call it a bribe in this spending bill, including $36 million for salmon restoration and $3.6 million for the Michelle Obama, what is that, a hiking trail? And meanwhile, no money for our southern border, but plenty of money for border security for Middle East countries. What is your reaction?
Well, this used the corrupt process of earmarking. And Republicans just about in the last couple of weeks took a secret vote in the House, and 158 Republicans in the House voted to bring back this currency of corruption in Congress, where the House Speaker or the Senate leader is able to give out pet projects in districts to ensure votes on massive spending bills. So let's go through some of those things. $1 million flowed to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. $5 million on two earmarks from the New York Senate delegation flowed to the Hip Hop Museum. You had two earmarks go to the Irish Heritage Center in Maine for $3.5 million. I guess it's the luck of the Irish on these things.
What, you're saying that a hip-hop museum and the Irish Heritage Festival shouldn't get our millions and millions of dollars of our taxpayer money?
Or the Field Museum in Chicago, they got $3.5 million. Look, I checked their latest IRS filings, and their CEO made $1.1 million, and they had net assets of $600 million. The Field Museum doesn't need taxpayer help. You got $1 million going to a stairway, not to heaven, but to the beach. In Mundo Cove, California. And you got the Republicans in red Texas, the Republican congressional delegation, out earmarking their Democratic Texas colleagues $500 million to $300 million.
At this point, it seems like they're just like printing money. I just don't understand how anyone could vote for this, never mind any Republican. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, he's, of course, coming under fire for his support of this bill. Many were on the fence about GOP leadership after a shaky midterm performance. What do you think about all of this? Does this lead to a change at the top now?
People need to bring the heat so the politicians see the light. But the big winner in this bill was the combine, the Republicans and the Democrats holding hands to fleece the American taxpayer. And here's a great example of that. In the Senate, on the Appropriations Committee, you had Patrick Leahy. He was the top of the committee. Second in command of the Republican, the ranking member, was Richard Shelby out of Alabama. Well, they're both retiring this year, and they both did me monuments. Shelby earmarked $650 million, including $50 million to his alma mater, the University of Alabama, who's going to store his Senate papers in archive. Leahy did $30 million on earmark to the University of Vermont. They're going to store his Senate papers, another monument to me out of the two ranking U.S. senators on appropriations. Those are the folks that dole out our money.
And you also had Senator Mike Lee of Utah. He wanted to put in that Title 42 protection. And just when we thought, hey, we might have a chance here to keep that one deportation tool in place, I just couldn't believe it. Why would anybody vote for something that didn't include protection for our own southern border?
Well, we're going to be finding out over the course of the next year what's actually in this bill, and that's because it's 4,100 pages, and it was dropped at 1:30 in the morning on Wednesday. The Senate voted on Thursday, the House voted on Friday, and presto, the American taxpayers fleeced again.
And I've been speaking to a couple of other former congressmen, and they told me that the timing of that massive bill being dropped over 4,000 pages long was not a coincidence, it being done right before the holidays. So these lawmakers would be almost like forced, being held hostage to sign off on it so they could get home in time for Christmas. But thank you so much, Adam Andrzejewski. We'll be right back. You're watching Wake Up America only on Newsmax.